Hello, welcome everybody. Thank you for being here today. We are broadcasting live from California, Delaware, Jenkintown, Pennsylvania, and Clearwater, Florida. Nice to have everybody with us today. We are quite fortunate that I, a short time ago, was able to meet and chat with and have communication back and forth with Sanjay Parab, who's on the line with his colleagues. And it's, as many of you know, we had an impact investor conference for Family Office Insights. And as most of you also know, we don't do conferences as a rule. But in September 5th of 2019, we had 250 people, 211 family offices join us. And had Sanjay and his colleagues been available, they were the exact type of guests that we would have had, because they're actually doing impact in a business and can demonstrate the impact that it has. So I have, as my often disclosure is here, it's the case here as well, where I have no skin in the game as an investor. However, we're so glad that Sanjay has connected with Family Office Insights, and we're able to review his opportunity and approve it accordingly, and have him and his colleagues as our guests today. I did look at the list of attendees, and maybe not all of you who I know are on the line, but some of you are very keen on this space. We're excited to join us today, and of course we super appreciate that, and it's nice to see you all here. Just a little housekeeping. We're recording this for the record. We're going to post it on the Family Office Insights YouTube channel, and you're welcome to review it and share it with others who, for whatever reason, couldn't join us today or aren't part of the Family Office Insights community. They're more than welcome to view it there. And we also encourage you to, and please feel free to ask anything in the chat box or the Q&A, and I'll be monitoring that as we go along. And don't be shy. We'll get to the questions, and please feel free to ask whatever you'd like. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and just one more time say thank you very much for being here. We have an hour, and you're welcome to stay as long as you'd like. And I'm going to now hand it off to Sanjay and his colleagues. Thank you all.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sanjay Parab. I'm the Managing Director of Sustainable Renewable Energy North America. We are a build, own, and operate company in the renewable natural gas arena right now, because that's more attractive than the power generation right now. And today, I would like to begin by first thanking Mr. Arthur Bagasse for this opportunity to be here, for having this forum for startup companies like us to meet with investors and talk about our projects that we are undertaking. We also would like to thank his administration team for setting this meeting up. And I'm honored and humbled to be here amongst you all, and would like to thank you for your time and for your interest in our project. Since we have some time before more people join, and I'll just quickly introduce you to my team. I would like to thank my team for being here for this presentation. Dr. KRS Murthy is on our advisory board. Mr. Mr. N.C. Vasuki is also on our is here with us today, and Mr. Nithi Palan is also with us today. So thank you guys for being on this call. I would like to begin first, before I start the presentation, I would like to give a summary about who I am and about my background. I'm a chemical engineer by profession. I did my bachelor's in India. I came here in the 1990s, did my master's in chemical engineering from City University of New York, and was working the next 8 years. I began my career in 1990 with Chemtex, which was a EPC, which is an EPC company. Chemtex was the sole exclusive licensee of DuPont continuous polymerization technology, and I had the, I worked with Chemtex for 8 years as a lead process engineer. I was involved in, when I joined Chemtex, our plants were around 90 to 180 metric tons per day capacity polyester plants. We were able to scale them up to 600 metric tons per day by the time I had left Chemtex in 1998. One of the notable things, in addition to implementing DuPont technology throughout the world, engineering and implementing this technology throughout the world, the polyester technology. One of the things notable things I did there was to scale up DuPont's Cape Fear batch PET recycle plant, and we were able to scale it up from 60 metric tons to 120 metric tons per day capacity polyester recycle plant using bottle chip waste. And after the successful implementation, and that was the Cape Fear plant, was a batch plant, we were able to make it a continuous polymerization plant. In 98, after I left Chemtex, my fuel cell, I got a call from Fuel Cell Energy, who were interested in taking their technology from lab scale to commercialization. They were in the process of commercializing the fuel cell technology, and I was at Fuel Cell for last 6 years. At Fuel Cell Energy, as a lead process engineer, I worked with Floor Daniels and other EPCs to develop a compact mechanical balance of plant. We call it as an MBOP. And I have around 4 patents at Fuel Cell Energy. We were the first company in the world to take anaerobic digester gas directly into fuel cells. And that really caught my interest in anaerobic digestion. And I was able to also at that point look at the back end of the anaerobic digestion generation and understand it better. So at fuel cells, I have patents in not only in developing a compact fuel cell mechanical balance of plant, but also in desulfurization, and had a good understanding of the issues and wastes in biogas technology and what needs to be done to make it into a pipeline grade quality. After fuel cells, I joined SPEC, a company in Massachusetts, and SPEC was an EPC company, and I started my career at SPEC as a senior project manager, and we worked on technologies from the Harvard and MIT hub, and those lab scale technologies, and we were engaged in scale up of those technologies. Some of the notable areas I worked on was with e-ink on their scale up of the e-ink technology, electronic ink as they call it. You'll see them in Kindles. The second scale up I was involved in was in the nano aerogel nano blankets for Aspen aerogels. So having worked in this field of scale ups and commercializing technology from lab scale into commercialization, I did my MBA from Boston College after that, and worked briefly for a couple of years with Siemens as a project manager involved in water and wastewater purification technology. And after Siemens, I briefly worked at a company as a technical director at Christ Water Americas. So that's my background. I have deep understanding of anaerobic digestion. One of my projects in 1986 was on developing oxalic acid from rice husk, and that kind of gave me the first introduction to the issues with organic biomass and and conversion of organic biomass. So that's a brief background. This particular presentation, I'm going to divide into 3 parts. The first part of my presentation, I'll talk about SRE and who we are and what we bring to the table. I'll also, following that, I'll talk about the Wabio technology. Why is it is a second generation biogas technology, This has been established. We have had 2 independent third-party reviews of this technology. It's a commercial technology. It's been in operation the last 20 years. We've had 2 independent evaluations on this technology. The first one was by TUV in 2000, I believe, 14. It was asked by the German government to give them a status report. TUV is like Underwriters Laboratory. It's a testing and rating agency. And they were in 2014 asked by the German government to give them a synopsis of the state of anaerobic digester technology in Germany. And in the report, they've mentioned that Wabio is the 2nd generation biogas technology by means of its ability to digest lignocellulosic biomass. And that means not just cow manure and food waste, but also waste streams like wood chips. We've demonstrated rice husk, paddy straw, rice straw. I mean, any organic biomass is game for us. And in the last part of my presentation, I will deep dive into the project in Louisiana, the proposed project in Louisiana with the sugar mill, and provide you a risk analysis and what steps we have taken to mitigate risks on that particular project. So without much ado, I'll start with my presentation. Our mission is to deliver sustainable waste to energy solutions through disruptive technologies. And make no mistake, Wabio is a disruptive technology by means of its ability to digest lignocellulosic biomass. Our vision is to be the largest developer and operator of biogas solutions, develops sustainable and circular economy to farmers, industry, and to deliver attractive returns on investment to investors. So circular economy, I'll talk about it in my presentation later to give you a synopsis of what I mean by a circular economy. We intend to exceed federal standards in design and engineering, and we maintain world-class standards in our build, own, and operating plants. So because we are a lignocellulosic digester company, the biogas applications it opens a window for us in terms of the biogas applications. We look at farm and forest waste. We can digest animal manure, crop residues, harvest waste residues, such as paddy straw, rice straw, corn straw, wood and sawdust waste. In the industrial side, we can digest brewery spent grain, dairy, meat, food processing. We can digest oil seeds and processing. We have a project operating from 2014 in Indonesia, taking palm waste. That includes the empty fruit bunches, EFBs as they are called. It includes the palm sludge and also includes the wastewater from the palm processing operations. Paper and pulp industry is a huge opportunity for us. We look at it as a great opportunity because most of the paper and pulp is cellulosic material. But since we have the ability to digest the hemicellulose and lignin, we can come behind and generate huge amount of biogas that can make these industries potentially circular, help with the circular economy and make them reduce their carbon footprints. The sugar mill waste is something I'll talk about in detail. We're also looking at winery waste, almond hulls, in California. So these are some of the opportunities we're looking at from the industrial perspective. In the municipal waste, we can take household garbage, commercial solid waste, wastewater, biosolids, where we have some plants operating in Germany. In urban waste, we can take food waste from hospitals, restaurants, residential and institutional waste. So I'm pretty sure you all have an idea of how anaerobic digesters work, but I'm going to give you a overview of it. The organic waste biomass goes in anaerobic digesters. In the current option, which we have chosen, the biogas is purified into renewable natural gas. There is, you must have heard a lot of chatter about hydrogen, and the government intends to put up to 5 to 10% of hydrogen into the pipelines now. And that is our future option. We can take this renewable natural gas and reform it to green hydrogen, which is a future option that we are looking at. So RNG remains our main revenue stream. The RNG revenues come from three sources. The first is the pipeline, the gate prices, which is around $2 to $2.50 per MMBTU. The RIN tax, the RIN credits, which are currently at $1.65, 62 or 65, and the LCFS credits in California. So that's our source. And RNG is approximately 70 to 80% of our revenue stream. The second revenue stream we're looking at, and we haven't explored fully as yet, is carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide has huge market opportunities now. One of the biggest opportunities is in shale gas as a gas, to pump carbon dioxide into shale gas wells. Another opportunity we see in CO2 is in cannabis industry and hot houses. They need a huge amount of carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is also finding increasing applications in humane animal kills for meat processing operations. Carbon dioxide is also used in refrigeration as refrigerant. It has large refrigerants, especially, are more beneficial with carbon dioxide. And another option that you can pursue with the biogas, which is a mixture of methane and carbon dioxide, is you can take it directly into an engine, the Jenbacher engines, and you can have a combined CHP heat and power plant. So you have the option of taking the generating power, and the waste heat can be used for heating and cooling applications. The residual material also has two options. That we look at it from the circular economy. It is a very good organic fertilizer, very high quality organic fertilizer, and I'll explain why our organic fertilizer is much higher in quality than our competition. Also, we have had a project in UK where they've taken the residual material and syngas-ified it to generate additional power. So that's another option you can utilize with the residual material, also called as digestate. So let's go back. Let's answer the first question: is why invest in SRE? What does the executive team at SRE have to offer? We have a deep experience in renewable energy sector and a team set up to deliver projects. Our team has a combined 120 years of experience in renewable energy, and I'll explain who our team members are. So I have an advisory board. That's Mr. NC Vasuki is our advisory board member. NC needs no introduction. He was a former president of SWANA, and he has over 40 years of experience in solid waste management, and he has led the last 20 years as the CEO of the largest solid waste management company in North America, the state of Delaware. He led that for 20 years. Also with us on our advisory board is Dr. KRS Murthy. Dr. Murthy is a former professor of electronics in California, University of California system. He was instrumental in setting up the UC Pomona campus, and he's a serial investor, and he has Dr. Murthy was a CEO of a solar company before he sold it off. Pinakin Patel comes with me from Fuel Cell Energy. He was a director of special systems at Fuel Cell. He was instrumental in getting around $300 million in government funding at Fuel Cell Energy. And he recently retired, and he started his own company, TMG Group, in Danbury, Connecticut. Also guiding us is Mr. Nithi Palan. Nithi is a civil engineer, and he comes with a huge background in renewable energy. Especially, he was former CEO of Seoul Optics and Optotech. I'm sorry, and he brings a huge amount of experience on the operations side, as well as he brings an experience to us from, and he's also investing in tidal energy and other renewable energy projects. From the design and EPC team, we have project consultants, which is a local Louisiana EPC contractor who will be our engineering contractor for our projects in Louisiana. Helping PCS and guiding PCS will be Mr. John Forcier from Forcier Consulting. John is a veteran, 30-year veteran of the biogas industry. He has over 30 years of experience in biogas plants, and he has around 25 biogas plants he has set up and designed and set up over 25 biogas plants. And it's a testament to our technology to have John Forcier be on our team and be an advocate for our technology. Also guiding us on the design EPC team, we have an agreement with Bartlett and West. Bartlett and West will be our engineering contractor for most projects in the Midwest region. And Phil Gates comes from Bartlett and West and will be on the design and EPC team. Guiding us from the environmental and permitting side is Trinity Consultants. Trinity Consultants has a huge presence in the Gulf Coast, and most of the permitting in that region is done through Trinity Consultants, and we're glad to have them on our team. The local construction partner will be Pico Brothers. Pico is a construction company based out of Metter in Louisiana, and most of the sugar mills, they come highly recommended from the sugar mill industry for the work they have done there. Our exclusive technology partner is Wabio, and Wabio will be in the initial stages responsible for the basic as well as guide us on the detail engineering, and will work with PCS to develop the detail engineering for our project. So that's our company profile. Our expertise and network is we have a management team with biogas and syngas expertise and knowledge of markets. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention about our operations team. From the operations perspective, we are indeed honored and blessed to have Mr. Greg Nolan. Greg is a 50-year veteran of the sugar mill industry. He led as a general manager one of the largest sugar mill operations in the US, and he's since retired, and we're glad and proud to have him on our team. Helping him will of course be John Forcier with his background in biogas technology, and assisting him on the electrical side will be Mr. Damodar Reddy. Mr. Damodar Reddy comes to us from Pennsylvania Power and Light, and he has a deep experience in grid interconnect issues, where he was lead project manager in setting up our natural gas to power projects. So he brings his that expertise with him. So our advisory board maintains strong contacts and network in North America with academic institutions and private sector to help and guide the management team. We have sustained contact with local, state, and federal agencies in promoting biogas development in the US. We have a couple of patents going on in fuel cell, biogas and biogas cleanup applications, and we can discuss that at your convenience. We have a team committed to developing environmentally sustainable and economically feasible solutions. So the circular economy that I'm looking at and the long-term vision for us in the sugar mill industry is to develop a circular economy. Right now, this project we are doing in Louisiana is only 100,000 tons per year project, where 50,000 tons will be bagasse and 50,000 tons will be pressed mud. But our vision for this industry goes beyond the initial capacity that we're going to set up at this location. Typically, a sugar mill in Louisiana, there are around 11 sugar mills. Each of them crushes approximately 1 million tons per year of cane sugar. Of that, 30% is bagasse, or it's 300,000 tons is bagasse, and 50,000 metric tons per year is pressed mud. Currently, the sugar mill industry being an energy-intensive operation, and since bagasse is a free product, they are burning around 200,000 tons of bagasse. Burning bagasse presents huge issues. One is pollution. It's extremely particulate matter pollution. Also, the bagasse has sand and mud with it, and that sand and mud corrodes and erodes the boiler equipment, and they have the maintenance, annual maintenance of most of these sugar mills is around $1 million a year, trying to because of the erosion and corrosion with use of bagasse. So we envisage as a part of circular economy to utilize all of the bagasse. And if you utilize all of the bagasse, around 300,000 tons of bagasse and 50,000 tons of press mud, we expect around 1.75 million MMBTUs or million BTUs per year, or 1.75 million decatherms per year of RNG generation. That RNG can, part of that RNG, I think from our initial calculations, even if you give the sugar mills 750,000 decatherms for their operation, they'll be more than happy. So we can provide a part of that to, and they would save a huge amount of money as a result of that. And the remaining close to 1 million decatherms can be sold as transportation fuel. We also generate a very high quality organic fertilizer from our anaerobic digestion process. And that would be around 95,000 metric tons per year at 90% dry matter. And that can be provided to the sugar plantation or the sugar mill farmers as an organic fertilizer, and thus creating a circular economy for them. So that is our long-term vision, to create a circular economy. And we intend to create a circular economy for every sector that we undertake this business into. So let's talk about,
if you don't mind, we'll take a real quick question.
Sure.
What materials are used in the anaerobic digester tanks? There's 3 questions, actually. 4. What size are those tanks, and who are the primary fabricators of those tanks? Sounds like somebody who knows what they're talking about, or pretending to know. That wasn't meant to be harsh, but it's
our digester design is very different. It's a tank-in-tank design. It's and one of the reasons our technology is unique is because we don't have any agitators, and we don't need actually any agitators in our tanks. So our design is very different, and because we don't need agitators, we are not restricted. Our tank size is not restricted by the size of the largest impeller available in the market. So we can design our tanks to any shape and size that we want. And that is kind of a unique, if you're in the AD business, that's something you'll be scratching your head on, because a lot of these are generation 1 technologies that we see have a restriction on the size of the tanks by means of the largest size of impellers that they can get in the market. And now our tanks, as a result, our tanks are huge, and they are site fabricated. We buy sheets and they'll be fabricated at site. Does that answer the question? Arthur?
If it's okay, I want to just add a little bit to what Mr. Sanjay Parab already said. And what is inside the thing is what's called a bacterial cocktail. To make it simple, to say there are 4 stages of bacteria processing. Ultimately, in the 4th stage is where the methane is produced, starting from the waste. And he already mentioned the agitators and etc., whether it's required or not, and so that's a thing. In terms of fabrication, and there are many partners, construction partners with our supervision would be involved. And we talked about Wabio on one aspect of it. We will have subcontractors who do the mechanical, electrical, and civil engineering contracts, just at the high level.
Thank you.
Yep, no, I think that answers it well. Thank you.
So this is a second, Wabio's technology is a 2nd generation advanced dynamic digester design that can effectively digest lignocellulosic biomass. We have proven to have almost 3 times more biogas generation rates than the current available biogas technology in the market. And we have a 98% on-stream continuous availability that's unheard of in this market. This technology is over 25 years old. This is not again a new technology. We have not done it in somebody's garage and now we're getting it commercial. This is proven technology over the last 25 years. And we have over 24 projects in operation in Europe and Asia with this technology. one of the unique abilities of Wabio, and as a process engineer, I was drawn to was its feedstock agnostic technology. Having studied most of the digesters in North America and the issues surrounding changes to feedstock and the collapse of the digesters, I found it very intriguing. And in Germany, if you look at our most of our projects that are in operation right now, they operate as profit centers. And in EU, you're penalized heavily for the waste you generate. And so operating a biogas plant as a profit center means you can go out and get different feedstocks that offer the highest tipping fees. And that's really one of the biggest advantage of this technology is its feedstock agnostic nature. Another advantage about Wabio-Technology is, see, the reason I was attracted as a process engineer to this technology is because there is not one innovation that you can duplicate and say, okay, I've made the same amount of biogas because of this duplication. There are a series of several innovative ideas that have come together to make this a successful, a product. And so another important aspect is the zero liquid discharge. The bacteria in the fermentation tanks, just like we humans generate ammoniacal compounds as feces or waste material. And unless that ammoniacal compounds are removed effectively, you cannot recycle 100% of the water back, because essentially you will have the bacteria in their own feces and you'll kill the process. So we have a unique process to be able to extract the ammoniacal compounds. And what we do with that is those ammoniacal compounds can be sold as a high liquid nitrogen fertilizer, or we spray that ammoniacal compound on our digestate to spike up the NPKs values. And I'll give you some more information as we go ahead. So that's another, so we can potentially, like in the Louisiana project, we have a zero liquid discharge. I do not have any liquid discharge from my process.
Sanjay, I have another question here. Would you mind if we?
Sure, please.
So this is from our good friend David Soares. Is the EPC warranting performance at time of initial operation?
Yes.
Okay.
And the warranty, the performance guarantees will be given by Wabio and EPC, both.
Okay. And then who is the operating partner, and are the warranting performance? And if yes, what are the warranties? Which I think you partially just answered, right?
We are a build, own, and operate company, so we will be operating the plant ourselves once we take charge.
Okay.
And we intend for the first 6 months to have, and which is built into our cost structure, is to have Wabio personnel at site to guide us, handhold us through the entire process.
Okay, so I have a question about that, but one more question from David. Are feedstock and offtake agreements put or pay, and I don't know what this word is, tailor pay? Are they fixed price or floating over the same spread to protect operating margins?
We have a 5-year lock on the price. We are paying. This is another advantage. A lot of people in this industry take the feedstock free. We are not looking for free, because we want to encourage other industries other sugar mills to look at bagasse not as a nuisance, but as a potential opportunity. So we have a lock for the next 5 years at $3 per ton for the bagasse. So we'll be paying the sugar mill for the bagasse that and after 5 years, we will double the price for the sugar mill. And we intend to do that to the sugar mill, because we want to change the concept of waste to a profit center for these entities.
Okay, so thank you, David. No worry about the typo. I thought you knew something that I don't, which I know that is true. So a question I have, if you don't mind me asking, is what is your arrangement with Wabio? Is it a licensing agreement?
Yes.
Okay. And so that agreement is a function of revenue or flat or
flat, but there are provisions for the next 3 years on how many projects we will deliver to Wabio, how many projects.
Okay, great. Continue. Thank you.
So another advantage of the Wabio technology is its unique bacterial, the bacterial formulation. This is a a hardy bacterial formulation, and it's more like let's visualize it. It's more like a yogurt kind of bacteria where you just put in the milk and it'll automatically form yogurt. You don't need to dose and redose or put booster shots. One of the biggest operating expenses in this industry, the Gen 1 technology, is the requirement for frequent booster shots or booster dosing of the bacteria. We do not have that need. Also, what increases our efficiency and improves the on-stream availability is our ability to simultaneously remove the floating and sinking sludge, is the simultaneous floating and sinking sludge extraction, which allows us to operate continuously, and it gives us a very high on-stream availability. As I said, the entire process, including the novel hydrolysis process, is a series of aerobic and anaerobic digestion processes, followed by the use of sulfur in hydrolysis process, which has helped to improve biogas yields. So this is a pretty unique, technology that we have with us. And now, in terms of competitive advantages, the blue is what standard biogases offer, and as you can see, right from wood, rice straw, cotton straw, rice husk, bagasse, there is hardly any competition from the standard biogas companies. As you can see, from brewery spent grain, press mud, we are almost 3 times our competition in that. Our projects in EFB, foam, decanter, sludge, we have demonstrated, and our plant has been operating for the last 6 years now with these numbers that you can see in this chart. So we offer our technology really offers a comprehensive and much more extremely high volatile or VOC destruction efficiency. And so a lot of questions that have come to me is, has Wabio done anything in bagasse, and how do you know you can digest bagasse? And this is the next slide. We in 2016 and 17. The Cuban government approached KfW-DG, which is a investment company, and they had a huge, as you know, Cuba is like 5th or 6th largest sugarcane producer in the region, in the world actually, and they have a huge problem with bagasse, and they call it as Marabu hardwood, and they approached KfW-DG to find a solution. KfW-DG is an investment company. KfW-DG went to HPC AG, which is one of the leading engineering enterprises in the environmental sector. And in 2016, HPC AG was entrusted with a 1-year, allocation. Within 1 year, they had to provide a comprehensive evaluation of the state-of-art technologies in EU to determine the best available anaerobic digestive technology to digest bagasse and Marabu hardwood. After a 1-year study, they came out with a report saying that the best biogas technology available to digest bagasse and Marabu hardwood is Wabio-Technology, and the only one without any restrictions. So this is a 600-page report that was co-authored by Dr. Christoph Oak at HPC and Thomas Wittstand, and was released in August of 2017, and outlining the best available technologies that can digest bagasse and hardwood. And they have a whole section on Wabio-Technology starting from page 412 on to 440. So as far as the technology applications are concerned, We can digest any organic substrates with high lignocellulosic component, the brewery waste, distilleries, grain house, pulp and paper mills, starch factories, sugarcane bagasse, grain husk, peanut hulls, and other nut hulls. The organic waste from previous chemical treatments we can undertake is cellulose production, paper processing waste, beer production, bioethanol production, oil extraction, potato food, vegetable processing and canning. And one of the unique features of our technology, because we can remove the ammoniacal compounds, is that we can also take high urea concentration wastes like poultry manure, as well as turkey litter, which very few biogas companies will ever venture into. So those are our applications. And as I've indicated below, these are the advantages of our technology. And, Wabio's, value-added technology relates to post-fermentation, the fermentation, hydrolyzation, and elimination of fermented inhibitors or the ammoniacal compound removal is really where our forte is, and that's why we are where we are. So I'm going to outline it. This is our 26-year-old history about Wabio. These are some of our old projects that are still in operation. Roding was our first project in 1996. It was 150 kilowatt electrical. Bad Coastridge is still in operation, and it was completed in December of 2006. It's 14 years now. It's still in operation. So these are some of the projects that Wabio has executed. Some of the recent projects are a 30 megawatt biogas straw project in Greater Harbin, China. And this is subsequent to the erection of, we are in the construction phase right now, and Wabio has signed 5 more projects of the same size. Similarly, after the success of our projects in Indonesia, we are with palm oil and empty fruit bunches from the palm mill waste. We have since signed 5 projects in Indonesia with this technology. Also, this.
Sanjay, can I just interrupt for a moment? Just being mindful of the time, and I know you're going to get to it, but do you think that we could just talk about the economics of the investment?
Sure. So yeah, good. I was just about to finish that. And this is our intellectual property. Let's deep dive into the economics of the project. This is a highly profitable shovel-ready project. We have independent third-party valuations on our cash flow. We have an LOI from the sugar mill for land and feedstock supply. We're awaiting an LOI this week from an RNG offtaker, and a local fertilizer manufacturer has approached us and is willing to give us an LOI, which I'm expecting any minute. We took great pains to see, to what we call as low-hanging fruit to choose this particular project. And after a careful consideration, we chose Louisiana as location because of its huge availability of biomass. The lower half of Louisiana is bayou country. There's a lot of sugar mills in that region. The upper part of Louisiana is rice country. Louisiana is the 4th or 5th largest rice producer in North America. And so you have these huge amount of biomass in that region. And the sugar industry is hurting with the huge pileup of bagasse at site. And right now, at this particular sugar mill, there's over 1.5 million tons of bagasse at site. So Louisiana is in a tropical climate zone, which is conducive to the AD technology. And it has an industry that is in dire need of solution. So the bagasse also presents us with methane offsets, which helps us in getting a low CI score, and I'll explain that as we go on. We have a site identified, 10 acres of land. We have an EPC. We have Pico Brothers as construction contractor, Trinity as the environmental permitting agency, the owner's consultants. We have a civil engineer as a owner's representative at site. This project qualifies for new market tax credits and is in an economic opportunity zone. So I'm going to quickly give you a brief about the main the outline of flow of this project, and before I go into the financials. So bagasse, liquid effluent, and press mud will be transported into a biosuspension tank. From the suspension tank, it goes into a special hydrolyzation process. And from the hydrolyzation process, it goes into a multiple stage fermenters, and then it goes to a last stage fermentation process, and which is also the gas storage process, gas storage area. And the slurry from the fermentation will be sent to phase separation, where the digest state will be removed. After the phase separation, the ammoniacal compounds are removed, and the water is recycled back into the biosuspension tank, and the digest state is dried and stored as a fertilizer, can be stored as a fertilizer. The RNG then goes to a desulfurization station, then and then it goes to a dehumidification, followed by the separation of the carbon dioxide from the renewable natural gas, and renewable natural gas is injected into the pipeline. So this is the process. This is how our layout will look like. And there's a lot of investors have asked me questions on natural gas pipelines. We have 3 natural gas pipelines. The red dot is where the plant is. To the south is the Acadian gas pipeline. It does not, it is a local pipeline. To the east is a transcontinental, and to the west is the Texas gas pipeline. So within the boundary limits of the plant, we have 3 interstate pipelines. This is the injection point right next to the sugar mill, as you can see, above ground injection point where we will be tapping it into. This is an aerial overview of the plant site. As you can see, land is not an issue. And this is how I have a video that can give you a better picture. But this is the pile from the last 12 years. And this is, you can see the lighter shade is a newer pile from the last couple of years. Typically what happens is we give Wabio the waste and some analysis of the waste. Based on the analysis of the waste, Wabio develops a generation sheet and provides us a generation sheet. Somebody asked me a question, what is the biogas volume? Our tank volume, total combined tank volume will be 21.375 million cubic meters, our biogas volume, sorry. And our tank size will be yeah, 36,693 cubic meters. There'll be multiple tanks, but the total volume in those tanks will add up to 36,693 cubic meters. So this is our cash flow. In arriving at this cash flow, I want you to look at certain things. There are 3 revenue streams, as I said. The revenue from 1.3 million is from the sale of natural gas at the gate prices. The second is from the D3 RINs, which is around 3.6 million. And we have calculated the D3 RINs at 80 cents per RIN. Today's prices are $1.60. We had to take an average because this is a few years old. The LCFS prices were calculated $120 per metric ton of carbon dioxide equivalent. And the LCFS revenues are around 5.56 million. And we have assumed fertilizer price of $10 per metric ton, dry metric ton, and we have 2.5 million is from that. We have not assumed any revenues from the sale of carbon dioxide as yet. So I wanted to look at this. Total revenue is around $13.1 million. So in arriving at these numbers, our biogas yield is 756 million standard cubic feet a year. The RNG, biogas is a mix of carbon dioxide and methane. The methane portion or renewable natural gas portion of it is 491 million SCF per year. That commensurates to approximately 5.275 million RINs per year. We have assumed a RIN price of 85 cents. And as far as LCF is concerned, we have 41,750 metric tons equivalent of carbon dioxide. We have assumed a average LCFS per metric ton price of $120. and the fertilizer yield is 72,430 tons per year at 70% moisture, 30% dry matter. Now, this is an extremely conservative calculation, and the current prices are of the D3 RIN are at 1.612, while the LCFS is at 195.56 as of the recent prices. So, in arriving at these cash flows, we have not assumed any government grants or credits. We have only taken 5-year, MACRS depreciation. No production tax credits or investment tax credits have been assumed. No value has been assigned to the carbon dioxide. The tax rate has been assumed to be 35%, and borrowing rate is assumed to be 8.5. No value has been assigned to waste heat. We generate a significant amount of waste heat from the 4% of biogas that we don't recover. We have assumed 24/7 plant operations and 14 full-time employees. The plant location meets NMTC program criteria and opportunity zone designation. No benefits have been assumed. The waste heat from this RNG oxidizer of the unrecoverable biogas has to be burnt. We cannot just release it into the environment. So there is a waste heat of 2.34 decatherms or 2.34 MMBTUs per year from waste heat, which can be recovered and used for HVAC or other uses. We generate 72,430 tons per year of high NPKs fertilizer at 35% dry matter. Is sold at $10 a dry ton. You can see an additional revenue of 2.56 million. We also generate around 15,000 metric tons per year of carbon dioxide or more. If we sell this carbon dioxide, we can earn sequestration credits of $40 immediately. And currently, we have scouted the market. The sale price of carbon dioxide is $50 per ton. So this has the potential to add around $750,000 to our revenue. So what we have done is to see what would happen if we took the LCFS current costs and current RIN prices of LCFS. And this comparison chart does that. If we assume the LCFS to be at $195 and RIN to be at $1.612 per RIN, we get an NPV of $144 million. Whereas based on our earlier conservative average assumptions, we were at NPV was 71.257 million, and the project IRR was 23.6%. Now it is 41.3% based on current market projections. And the payback is 2.3 years. In this case, the payback is 3.8 years. In addition, in the LCFS market, in addition to the LCFS price, which is currently at $195, there is also an LCFS score that one has to take into account. And for the LCFS score, we have, based on our prior discussions with some investors who had asked for independent third-party opinions, we approached two agencies for that. One was Clean Energy Consultant. These are former eco-engineer personnel, and they evaluated did a comprehensive evaluation from the GREET model perspective, and they came up with a CI score of baseline CI score of 110, minus 110. Now, we have taken a CI score of minus 22. So at minus 110 CI score, you'll see the revenues have now, but however, they have assumed the RIN price to be same at 90 cents per RIN. So now our revenues have gone up from 13 million to 17.9 million. And now these 17.9 million revenues do not include the 2.9 million that we would get from the sale, 2.7 million that we would get from the sale of fertilizer. So, but they also feel that the highest we could potentially look at is a CI score of minus 200. So they have given us a range between minus 110 to minus 200. And at that point, the revenue shoot up to $26.256 million. The clean energy consultant had provided us that we should be expecting a CI score between minus 110 to 200. So we also took an independent evaluation from Mr. Brent Riffle at SCS Consulting. Brent Riffle was one of the personnel who was instrumental in developing the GREET model with CARB, and he looked at we went through a series of questions based on the GREET model and methane estimation methods, and he is of the opinion that initially a CARB will assign a number for us based on the awarded landfilling, based on a tier 1 LCFS calculator tool, and he expects that to be in the ballpark of minus 50.86. And after 5 to 6 months of continuous operation, a CARB looks at this again, and we can expect a score of minus 168.93 based on his estimates. So, so we have two independent entities looking at our score and indicating that we should be looking at between minus 100 to minus 200 in both cases. So for the purposes of our calculations, we have taken it at minus 22.71. Here is a CAPEX breakdown of our CAPEX costs. So we have addressed market risk concerns. We have provided an innovative technology, proven technology with several plants in operation. This is not a lab scale technology that we are scaling up or anything.
Sanjay, this might be a good point for another question that's
Sure.
relevant. It's okay with you?
Sure.
So, what can you tell us about the biogas projects that have failed, why they failed, and what have you done to mitigate those potential problems, which I imagine is more about the ones that you can know about with Wabio?
Wabio projects have, this is why I love, and when I visited, and I've spent over 3 years traveling to Italy, France, and to Germany to understand the biogas technology in detail. This is not a Gen 1 technology. Wabio's projects have not failed. They're still in operation. Sometimes, the projects, most of the projects are still in operation. I've yet to see, the company may have gone under for other reasons, but I have no idea about Wabio failing. I can give you millions of reasons of why the competing systems failed. Feedstock changes, very low on-stream availability. There are myriad of reasons, bypassing of the incoming feedstocks. There are several reasons why the Gen 1 systems have failed in the US and other places. But our 2014 project in Indonesia is still working 6 years now. That speaks volumes. Our Bad Coasters project from 1996 is still in operation. That speaks volumes. So that, does that answer the question?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
So we have de-risked this project by bringing a proven innovative technology. We have the personnel and partners with the experience, operating experience and design build experience to operate these projects. We have enough safety factors, as you can see. The reason we did all of this exercise is to show confidence in our investors that we are safe no matter what. I mean, even in the last 1 year, the RIN prices have actually increased, whereas industry after industry is tumbling. This is a stable market, and with green hydrogen in the works, and talks about hydrogen economy, this is a win-win situation for us.
Once you have the funding, what is the timeline to?
I'm coming to that. Yes, 1 year after, and I'll get there. We have enough safety factors. We have confidence in our technology. That's why it's a build, own, and operate. I have put over $500,000 of my own money in this project. I would not if I didn't have that confidence in technology. Also, I did not want to dilute my shareholding at this point. It's a win-win solution to pollution for the host site. There is no impact to current operations at the host site. And that's what the sugar mill loves. We have nothing to do with their current operations. The project utilizes press mud, that's land applied and excess bagasse to produce high-value co-products. In fact, they have allocated 10 acres of land for a reason, is that they are not happy with the 100,000 tons capacity. They want us to double it. And we do intend to do that within 2 months of commissioning our first project. We will announce a expansion. We will start the expansion and double our capacity. There are several additional revenue streams from the sale of products like fertilizer, carbon dioxide, and waste heat. So from the safety factor perspective, let's recap. We have calculated our cash flow at 0.85. The D3 RIN actual price today is 1.612. The LCFS is 51,237. Our off-taker thinks our LCFS should be 57,000. That's a different matter. Price of LCFS credit value we have assumed is 120. Today's market cost is 195. The LCFS score is minus 22.71. Third-party estimates of LCFS score is minus 150 to 200. So we have this project is a $30 million CAPEX. We have 4 private investors that have approached us for $20 million in debt through senior secured debt. We're looking for capital for $10 million. We're open if somebody is willing to give us $30 million also. The construction is 10 months after permits. Typically in Louisiana, it's 45 to 60 days for permits in Louisiana. Startup date will be 12 months from receipt of funding. That's our project implementation schedule. And this is a third-party analysis of our digest state in Indonesia. And these are some of our project photographs from the site. Any questions, gentlemen?
Yeah, we have one here. Are any of the Louisiana sugar producers investors?
No, we haven't approached them to be investors. They have their hands full with their issues at their own place. So we are not.
One would argue that the sugar producer whose land you're building it on is an investor in kind, right?
He's giving me 10 acres of land at $1 per year fee. What more do you want? Plus, he's giving me $3 a metric ton for the bagasse. I mean, that itself speaks of the his commitment to the project.
Yeah,
and we haven't honestly.
Yeah, that's a fair answer. Okay, so we answered that. Great. Well done, Sanjay. While we're waiting for others here, if any, would anybody like to have a closing comment or two, or for the record, and it'll be recorded, and then we'll wrap things up, unless we have other questions?
I want to just supplement to Mr. Sanjay Parab's excellent presentation. He's gone into every possible details you can ever think of. That's what he is. Thorough, and the board itself is many years in the industry as well. And what is important here is that we can take up any kind of biomass waste, number one. And we are looking at the sugar industry waste in this particular example of the project that was presented. But we can talk about other ones as needed, but this is the first one ready to go. Number two, and we have 2.5 times in terms of metrics that you want to remember, 2.5 times the efficiency of any other biomass to waste to energy. So that itself is where we excel 2.5 times. And we have full lock on the technology and no one else has. So no one else can come in. And so that we have the exclusive license itself within USA and other countries. That's a very important distinction of what we have. We have a team which has been in the industry, of waste to energy and other energy, as Mr. Sanjay Parab himself with decades, and everyone has 3 to 4 to 5 decades in the industry and other things as well. And so it's economics, it is the team, it is the industry itself we have picked up for this particular presentation of sugar cane industry waste, and making sure the proximity is there for the pipeline. And so that's where our cost is minimized, as Mr. Sanjay Parab very clearly mentioned. And we get land, for the whole project time, approximate, when I say approximate, inside their campus. And then there's already existing waste sitting there that we can start with. We don't have to wait for more waste to come. We have enough waste that has created amount, and so they're desperate to do something. And we can take it up, and then we can continue adding more waste from the factory there.
Yeah, we also have around 17 projects in the pipeline.
Yeah. And all sugar in this case happens to be in Louisiana. And then there is also rice industry that Mr. Sanjay Parab and I visited, and we have all visited, right? It's not just being on the board. We are hand in hand with Mr. Sanjay Parab in all of this, every aspect of it.
Excellent. A really good overview.
And for the investor, one more very important point, we have both options, equity options and also debt options.
Yeah. Sanjay, that was awesome. You covered a lot of detailed information, but important information in a very concise way. Thank you very much. So if one were to, we're going to make sure everybody's connected here, but you have a data room, all the documents and all that stuff, I'm assuming available, or however you providing an investor information that's available to folks.
Sure, we can provide them.
Once they contact you or you contact them, of course.
We have all of our information and detailed information is available to investors, potential investors, and we have them on our cloud and can be provided to them at any moment's notice.
Great, perfect. Well, thank you all for being here, and thank you for that, Sanjay and your colleagues. We'll make sure that everybody's connected. This will be on the recording of the Family Office Insights YouTube channel. And thank you all for attending and your questions. Super appreciate it. And as usual, thank you for giving us the only thing you can't make more of, and that's your time. Sanjay, you want to have a wrap-up comment?
Sure. Thank you. Thank you, participants and investors. I truly appreciate your time. I'm humbled by this opportunity, and certainly if you have any additional questions, please feel free to reach out to me or my team, and would love to answer any questions you may have on this topic.
Thanks, Mr. Bagasse, for an excellent arrangement, excellent handling of the whole thing, and I can surely tell you, you are a pro. You're always watching Q&A regularly and the chat itself. So that shows the pro is here to take care of us.
Yeah, you're very kind. Thank you for your kind words, and thank you for being here. And with that, we'll wrap it up and see you next time. And then we'll make sure everybody's in touch with you folks.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, fantastic.
Bye-bye.
Sure.
Wait, we have a question. Hold on.
Yeah, I know. I already saw that.
Oh, we had somebody saying thank you. You're welcome, Erica, who I know. Thank you very much. Okay, bye-bye.